Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hello and welcome once again to a very special Cheap Shot Entertainment Quick Shot Reviews movie review. It has been 20, no, not 20, add another 10, 30 years since the original release of The Crow, the film that changed the comic book movie forever and made Brandon Lee a star. Some people would say Brandon Lee was to The Crow what Heath Ledger was to the Joker. It made it his character and never quite been done as well since. There have been sequels to this film. I've not seen them. I don't want to see them. I will go and see the new one because I like Bill Skarsgård, and I know lots of people will say, oh, I can't go and see that one because of this, that and the other. And that's fine. Absolutely fine. That's the beauty of films, of movies, is that everyone gets to pick what they like to see and what they want to watch. Now, I went to the cinema with my good friend Ben, who was desperate to see this film. He has seen it loads and loads of times. He's got tattoos of Brandon Lee as the Crow. Obviously, I'm not shy about saying I'm a big wrestling fan. And when The Crow came out, Sting became The Crow Sting, basically. And even this past weekend, at a park wrestling show for, in my local park for charity, I donned the makeup for my character as the Crow. So, it means a lot to me. I remember watching this film on VHS, even though I probably shouldn't have, because I'm 41. I don't like to say that, but I was 11 at the time of release, basically. So I shouldn't have been watching it because it was an 18. It's now been downgraded for cinema audiences to a 15. And I can see why. It's very reminiscent of 1994, around about the time when Macaulay Culkin was dominating the box office with anything else he could possibly find, Jurassic Park and all that kind of stuff as well. But as I mentioned, it stars Brandon Lee, who plays the main character, Eric Draven, who is a rock star who has an untimely demise, along with his fiancée, who is also raped as part of this untimely demise by a group of criminals who didn't like the fact that they were campaigning to get their flat fixed, basically. And it's extremely gothic, with talking SimCity and 1989 Batman together as one, and it's probably one of the best looking films that I've seen for a very long time. And that being said, it's 1994. The beginning, you can tell that the fire effects and stuff are just sort of layered on, but you can forgive that. It was 1994. I can't forgive that these days, and you can still tell in some cases. Director Eric Purius, and the writer, of course, is James O'Barr, who did the original comic book series. Also starring Michael Wincott, who as Top Dollar, who is the main criminal here. Also has Ernie Hudson in it. Yes, a Ghostbuster that doesn't get enough love. Ernie Hudson is fantastic in this movie alongside Brandon Lee. They have a really good on-screen presence. Ernie's ability to hit jokes is brilliant. And because he was in the Ghostbusters with three people who were on Saturday Night Live and celebrated for their comedy. He always gets forgotten, but he had some of the best lines in that film, and he still does here. It does kind of bring a little bit of comic relief to a very gothic, very dark, very sad movie. But he's brilliant. He is absolutely brilliant. And alongside Rochelle Davis, who plays Sarah, we've got a really good cast. And for the time, it's not been done with loads of money. It was very much, a passion project. But it works so well. It is such a good film. And I can't tell you how great it was to see it on the big screen. I was hooked from start to finish. Films like this don't get made anymore because they want to cram loads and loads of stuff in. They want to make it 3 hours at a time and have it in 3 parts. This does everything it needs to do. The peril, the sacrifice, the sadness, and the hero status. Obviously, Ernie Hudson's character is the Commissioner Gordon to Brandon Lee's Batman here, but The Crow is just a phenomenal movie. If you get a chance to watch it, absolutely do, because it is absolutely fantastic. Like I say, there were multiple remakes, reimaginings, sequels, etc. And obviously there's one coming up. And last thing to say really is R.I.P. Brandon Lee, because I was trying to figure out where, because it was around halfway through the film when he was shot and killed, and I was trying to figure it out, but for all intents and purposes you cannot tell that it wasn't him. So the way they did it was just amazing. And obviously he's still got that little bit of martial arts in him from his dad, Bruce Lee, of course. But yeah, dark romanticism, poetic. The head villain, Top Dollar, is brutal and almost demonic in the way he does things. He is the perfect overall villain. He has long, slick-backed hair with a ponytail. It's everything you wanted to hate from 1994. Is like the movie version of Triple H when he came in a bit later on in 1996 in the WWF. It's got a really good alternative rock soundtrack. It doesn't pull any punches. There's knives being thrown, there's guns being shot, and obviously that's how he sort of died. And the revenge story. Everyone loves a good revenge story, and it's done so well. It's like, yeah, you killed me and my fiance after raping her, and now I'm coming for you. Yes, it's good. And you want Brandon Lee's character to win. Even if villains shot the Crow that guides him and brought him back, and that takes away his powers for a little while. But the Crow comes back, because I believe they were undead as well. And yeah, it's just really good. Really good crescendo at the end. Sword play coming into it as well, which is really cool. I love an ending with a sword fight in a film where it's superheroes and guns. Absolutely amazing. And like I say, that little bit of martial arts as well, which just rounded everything off. Can't speak highly enough of this film. I would utterly recommend this to anyone who can get their hands on a copy of it to watch it, because it is fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. And that brings us to the end of this review. So I will see you next time, film fans. If you've seen The Crow on the big screen, if you've been to go and see the 30th release, if you're a massive fan of it, if you're not a fan of it, please do get in touch, either on the podcasting channel, Spotify, others are available, or on the YouTube channel where you may be listening to this as part of that channel as well. Cheap Shot Entertainment and Quick Shot Reviews rather for Cheap Shot Entertainment. As ever, I've been your host Luke. You have been the Cheap Shot Nation, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.
Hiya.